Hi everyone, it's me, Idris. And you guys know I'm on the podcast. That means that we have some new or returning Patriots. Up first, let's go with the new Patriot. We got a new Patriot, and his name is Drew Kyrie. Drew, guess what? You're a Patriot now. You went on the patreon.com/me and popcorn and you said, you know what? I like this show. I want more of this show. So you signed up and you became a Patriot. Thank you for your patronage. Thank you for supporting this show. We love you so very much. And last but not least, we have a returning Patriot, jumped up to the next level, and that is Sid Tobias. Sid, we do this all the time. One thing I will tell you right now is no matter how many times we do it, we love you. We love you so very much. Thank you for your patronage. Thank you for being a returning patriot yet again. Thank you for the love, everyone, and we'll catch you on the next one. Idris, out.
Medium popcorn. We are two niggas spoiling movies. Yeah. Brandon Collins, that's me, and Justin Brown for your movie needs. Medium popcorn. Woo! You haven't seen it, well, we're gonna spoil it. Spoil it in your face. That's your warning. So if you get pissed, it's all your fault. You got a friend in me.
Doo-doo.
You got a friend in me.
Doo-doo.
Summertime is like your bed, and you everybody go to warm side of the bed. I don't know.
Just
All right.
remember what your old pal said, that Brandon can't sing those lyrics.
I can't, everybody. Hey, everybody, this is Media Popcorn. I'm Eddie Collins.
Guys, it's Justin Brown.
And we are talking about Toy Story 4, the sequel to the revered and Oscar-nominated Toy Story 3 for Best Picture, by the way. Toy Story 4 was directed by Josh Cooley, written by Andrew Stanton and Stephanie Folsom, who of, I believe, was it Guardians of the Galaxy that she was a writer? No, Thor Ragnarok. She was actually one of the key writers on Thor Ragnarok, but actually didn't get a WGA credit because Taika Waititi took it all for himself. Anyways, we have to go down that road.
Okay.
But yes, of course, starring our favorites, Tom Hanks, Tim Allen. I mean, Tim Allen's questionable, but Andy Potts is back as Bo Peep. Tony Hale joins as Forky, which we'll talk about. Key and Peele are in this. And then the delicious Christina Hendricks is also in this, as well as fucking Keanu Reeves.
Yep.
Joins, and of course we got Joan Cusack and a bunch of our old classic characters as well, and even recordings from Don Rickles to be able to do Mr. Potato Head, even though he had already passed by the time the fourth one had come out. Initially, I remember Carl Weathers is in this too. Yeah. With the fucking, I forgot what his character's called, but those G.I. Joe.
Carl.
Yeah, Combat Carl. They're so stupid. This came out in 2019, and I remember, Toy Story 3, which we talked about, I think this is 9 years after Toy Story 3 came out. Toy Story 3 came out in 2010.
Yeah.
And I remember when they announced this, everyone was kind of like, but you had such a perfect ending with Toy Story 3. Why would you do another one? Right? What sense does that make? You ended these characters so perfectly. And then I saw the movie, and I remember being pleasantly surprised, but because it's kind of an epilogue. It felt like an epilogue to Toy Story 3. Hey, actually, here's kind of where their stories go, because not everyone's going to end up with the little girl, Bonnie. Not everyone's going to stay with her, right? And I appreciated that. I think when I watched this again for the podcast, what I really appreciated about this is that, and I texted you this, I think this might be the funniest one in the series.
Yeah.
There's so much unhinged shit. And before I was kind of like, man, this Forky thing is really weird. But then I thought about I had times with my wife's god kids, and also I've been just around a bunch of kids teaching and stuff again. And I'm like, oh yeah, that creativity. I forgot you do weird shit sometimes in arts and crafts, and you create little things. And so then embracing that, and Forky not understanding who he is and what he is, just made, I was like, oh, he's like a baby. You're trying to prevent him from killing himself while also he's I'm trash. You know what I mean? Uh, and
Axel
that
found
made it
that so
funny.
funny.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy when you think about it, because it's like, because when you're a toy, I guess like it's kind of like like it's kind of like a parallel version of Buzz when we first meet Buzz, right? Buzz thinks he's a
Yes.
fucking spaceman, but Forky's like, but I'm a fork. I just happen to have these like weird hands and like this these sticks for feet or whatever, but I'm trash. Like, right? Like I'm
Well,
supposed to be
he's just like,
trash.
I've served my purpose. I'm trash now.
Yeah.
It's just like I'm supposed to be eaten with and thrown away. It's
Yeah.
just like, and I was in the garbage. Why am I here? Why is someone playing with me? Let me get back to where I'm supposed to be. I'm supposed to be in a landfill somewhere or litter. The fact that it should have been litter. I'm like, wow.
And this all happens after the cold open, which is we get context about what happened to Bo Peep, basically, which is that she
Yeah.
was her and her lambs were given away because they belong. Did they belong to the Bo Peep belong to the
The
mom?
sister.
The
The sister.
sister. Okay, so the
Yeah.
sister, the mom's giving away Bo Peep and stuff to some random dude who, for some reason, leaves the box in the rain, which is weird.
No, he left it. He left his keys.
Yeah, and also at the same time, the toys are trying to save the remote control car RC from washing away because there's like a big rainstorm. And I mean
Yeah.
that rainstorm, dude. Like that's when I was like, man, Pixar animation is fucking so good now.
Hold on. Let me just correct something.
Yeah.
Bo Peep was actually Andy's,
Oh,
but
really?
she was a
Okay.
nightlight. So then she went to the
Ooh,
little sister.
got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. But they don't use her, so that's why they're giving her away.
Yeah, because the
And so
sister's starting to grow up
yeah.
now.
And after they save RC, Bo Peep is taken in the box with her lambs, and Woody goes to try to like rescue her, and she's like, "It's okay." And she actually is like, you know, toys get misplaced all the time, and you could come with me. And then Woody hears Andy calling out for him, and that's when he decides to stay with Andy and
Yeah.
says goodbye to Bo Peep. So we learn a little bit about why Bo Peep disappeared. She wasn't in the third one.
Yeah, why
Then we
RC wasn't in the next one either.
Yeah, yeah, and then we go to fast forward. The toys are now with Bonnie, who plays with everybody but Woody. Jesse is her sheriff now. Like,
Mhm.
she takes Woody's badge, puts it on Jesse, which makes sense. She's a little girl, so she's going to gravitate towards the female cowboy girl,
Yeah.
right? So Woody's in the closet just watching through the fucking little shades and stuff as all the other toys get played with and everything. And so he's like having imposter syndrome and everything. And Bonnie's about to go to kindergarten, and she's really, really worried about it. Like, like you have like the little kid anxieties and stuff. So Woody goes with her to school to try to make her like, it's like she needs a toy to feel better and like feel more comfortable and stuff. Because Woody's purpose is like, we're here for the kid. Like he is all about customer service, man. Like
Yeah.
every retail store should have a Woody because he is 100% dedicated to the job. No matter the circumstances, no matter the obstacles, he's like, it's all about this kid that we're supposed to entertain for as long as we can. Even if they
Yeah.
abandon us and let us collect dust, it's all about this child. Right. And so at the school, basically Bonnie, because she's isolated, she creates Forky, which is a spork. She like, what are those arm things? What are they called again? Brush fucking
Oh, I have no idea. I know what
yeah,
you're talking about. I just yeah.
pipe cleaners, right? Something like
Yeah,
that.
pipe clean. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So she creates Forky, who is fucking freaking out. And Tony Hell does a great job playing Forky because he's just like,
Yeah.
"What is happening? Ah, I'm trash." And Forky, for some reason, becomes Bonnie's favorite toy, which just confuses everybody. And when
Well, yeah,
Woody,
it's an emotional crutch.
yeah, and
She's
when Woody
dealing with this
introduces
place. She created them. Yeah,
yeah.
I get it.
Oh, bro, when Woody introduces Forky to everybody, the other toys, they're like, they're like, what?
Was it the dinosaur toys? It's like, listen, I have questions. Actually, I have all the questions. Like, there's some great lines in this. It's funny because, like, I watched this with the kids, and like even Lennox sat down and was just locked in on this one. But I love the fact that like this got laughs from a 7-year-old, a 4-year-old, and well, not the 1-year-old because he don't understand.
He just
truly
laughs at
understand what's
everything.
going on. But like, yeah, and legit, and I'm sitting on the couch and I'm laughing with it as well. Like we're all like laughing, having a good time with. Like this is like, yeah, this movie was a great family movie.
Yeah, man, I imagine so. I mean, I remember like I think we took Tati's little sister to go with us to see
Mm,
Toy Story 4, and she had a great time too. Like it's just a I was surprised by one how funny it is, but also how quirky it is too. Because once we get to Forky, like that's when we thought that in Toy Story 3 when Mr. Potato Head became the tortilla that was like cuckoo bananas, but this movie
mm.
is really fucking weird. And
Oh
that's
yeah.
before we get to the antique store with Gabby and those fucking ventriloquist dummies, which was so fucking crazy. Those dummies were like insane, dude.
Yeah.
Um, so basically, Forky is just constantly like trying to like kind of, I want to say like unlive himself, but he's definitely like just trying to jump in the trash. Like
Hmm.
he's constantly trying to get away. And Bonnie loves Forky. Like Bonnie is like, where's Forky? Like if they lose, and I was also kind of like Bonnie, you gotta keep better track of your stuff, man. She's forgetting Forky. She's forgetting like other toys. She forgets her backpack a lot. It's like, come on, Bonnie, you gotta get
Yeah,
to.
but
And
how
you're
old? Oh, Bonnie is 4.
4 or 5, yeah,
4 or 5. 4 or 5.
yeah,
Most likely 4, and she turns 5 in
yeah.
kindergarten. So, like, yeah, she's a little
Yeah.
kid. Of course, they lose every man. When I was in LA, I bought Axel a hat. I bought Jackson Axel's hats. All right. Axel wore his hat for the school, and that was the last time I ever saw that fucking hat. I spent fucking $45 on it at this fucking stadium, and this motherfucker loses it immediately.
Yeah.
Like that is the nature of children. Bro, we go into the fucking lost and found in Jackson school, and we came out with half of his fucking wardrobe, sweaters, hats, gloves, all sorts of shit. It drives me fucking nuts.
Bro, and it's not just kids too. Like when I go to my grandfather's place in the Bronx, the facility in the Bronx, every time I go, dude, in his closet, there's some other motherfucker's clothes. I'm like, Papa, what is going on? Like, where are you getting these clothes from? You can't even fit in this. He's like, what you mean? I'm like, Papa, there's cargo shorts in here that are small. You are XL. I'm like, what
Them
are you doing?
mines, them mines.
That's what he says. He's like, those are mine. I've always had those. No, you haven't. Like, what are you talking about? And so it's just
Oh
really because
god.
like unfortunately because of his mindset, his mind state, it's
Mm,
kind of like having a big kid. He's
yeah,
like,
very much so.
he's like, I don't know. It's like those are mine. Those are my shoes. It's like, Papa, these are fucking pink slippers. These are not yours. um, so Bonnie's family decides to go on a road trip, which I'm sure by the third act, her father immediately regrets, given what he goes through with that RV.
Oh yeah, for
The
sure.
toys, bro, the toys. Here's the thing: the toys in this movie are actually engaging with like the real world in a lot of ways, like driving cars and shit. Yo, when the dad gets pulled over by the cops at that carnival, and that unicorn nigga is like, "Dad's going to jail." I was like, "Yo," I was like, "Yo,
He's like,
they
oh,
don't give a
he's for
fuck."
sure going to jail. Well, the fact that he said, the fact that that joke, the rule of threes in comedy, right? They hit that 3 so perfectly with that character
Yeah,
and that joke was solid the first time. The second time, it was a bit of a throwaway, but it was again great. And then right at I was just like, oh, that's so good. It's so good.
yeah. And so they go to a sorry, Macho's all over the place. It's distracting me. So during the road trip, basically Forky jumps out the window. Forky basically tries to unlive himself.
Yeah.
He's like free. He just jumps out the window. Woody's like, "Fuck! This is Bonnie's favorite toy. I gotta fucking go save him." So he goes after him. He's like, "Hey, how far is the next van RV
The
campsite or
stop.
whatever?"
Yeah, campsite.
Yeah, and so they're like 5 miles. He's like, "Fuck." He's like, he doesn't say fuck, but he's like, "All right, I can manage that. Let me go get Forky." Right. And then they end up in an antique store, which is basically ran by this big
Wait,
doll.
wait, hold
Wait,
on. They don't
yeah.
end up in an antique store. They're right across the street from the RV park. But then he
Oh,
sees
that's right.
Bo Peep's lamp
Oh yeah,
in
yeah.
there. And he's just like, wait
You're
a
right.
second, I just need to check something out. And then so they go into
You're right. You're right.
the
Yeah.
store. But mind you, at this point, on the walk, the 5 mile walk from the side of the road, he a Woody actually explains to Forky, hey, like this is what you are, this is who you are, this is your standing. So then Forky is now on board with being a toy.
Yeah.
You know, because
What his
now
identity.
he gets it.
Yeah, he understands his identity and his purpose and stuff. And so that's when they meet Gabby and her ventriloquist dummy minions. And basically Gabby like realizes that Woody has a working voice box. You know, like when you pull the string, it's like there's a snake in
Mm.
my boot and stuff like that. And hers is broken. And there's this little girl that's the granddaughter of the antique shop owner, who Gabby's convinced if her voice box can work, this little girl will accept her and take her in. So she'll actually finally have love from a child to serve her purpose as a toy. But the thing is, and Yuvia, our producer, pulled this from trivia as well. There's hints that little girl will be dismissive of Gabby because of the way that she disregards Woody when she sees him. She's like, because she sees Woody and she's like, oh yeah, this is a toy. And then she like wants to keep it, but then she forgets it. And so there's like hints that she doesn't really care about toys. But anyway, so Gabby is very much like, hey, what's your voice box? Like it's very creepy and sinister. And then when the other dummies pop up, when you find out that there's more than one, that was so creepy. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, where they just come out of the cut. Because there's one pushing the carriage that she's in, and then like they're walking. It's just like, yeah, we're gonna go somewhere nice and dark where nobody can see us. It's just like,
out of sight.
No.
Yeah, out of sight. I was like, uh-oh. It's like, Woody, you know that's not good. You gotta be careful. And so Woody's able to escape, but Forky's taken prisoner by Gabby, who kind of like just, you know, she's trying to get Forky on her side. So she's like using Forky to learn about Woody and everything. So she can find out anything she can use against him and stuff. And it was funny because Forky doesn't have any idea like that he shouldn't be trusting Gabby.
Yeah.
He's very naive. And so he's just like, oh yeah, let me tell you everything about Woody. Woody does this thing and that thing. And like, oh, this is where we come from and all this stuff. It's like, damn, bro, you giving up the store.
But like you said, he's like a child. He's like a child. Woody just gave him the 411. Like, Woody also goes over the previous films and tells him all about Buzz and yada, yada, yada. So like, Woody just gave him all this information, and then he's just like, oh, look at this. I met this new person. Let me regurgitate everything that I just learned.
Yeah. And then, so Buzz sets out to try to find Woody as well. Because he's like, like Woody's out there by himself. Like, I don't know if he actually knows what he's doing. Because Buzz is always looking out for Woody. It's interesting. Like, Woody's always looking out for the kid, but then Buzz is always like, Woody gets so fucking tunnel vision that I gotta look out for my friend because he gets into some shit. And Buzz ends up at a traveling carnival, and that's when he encounters Buddy and Ducky, played by Key and Peele. And when he is attached to that thing as like a toy giveaway, and they're above him, and they're like, "Oh, you trying to get with a kid before us?" He's like, "We were here before you," and he trying to kick him, and they're like, "You're like, get him!" Like, you got, folks, and it's hard to describe. Yeah, and folks, it's hard to like describe it on a podcast. You have to watch it visually. It is so fucking funny, and just like the way they're riffing with each other and stuff. It's just, I kept laughing so hard, and then
now, mind you, their characters, they're actually sewn together.
Yes, well, they're like they're attached together. They're a package.
Yeah,
but they do separate at one point, I think. Don't they? Or are they together the whole time?
No, they're together the entire time.
Oh my god, that's right. Because when they're like on the roof, and they're like, we're gonna get a kid or whatever. They're like, we're gonna get a kid, and they're like stuck together and shit. Folks, their riffing is hilarious. Like the movie's already funny, but then they take it up to another level because basically, so Buzz and Woody, they're able to reunite, and the Ducky and Bunny follow Buzz because they're upset at him. They're like, "You trying to take our thunder? Like, we're not gonna let you get away." And so they all like they meet on that rooftop, right?
Yeah,
they all come together on the rooftop because at this point, Woody is connected with Bo. He finds out that she's kind of a lost toy and she's been surviving on her own. And she's like helped other lost toys and stuff. Like she even like broke her arm at one point. And she was like able to tape it together, which is an interesting parallel to when Woody had his arm detached in Toy Story 2 and needed another person to repair it. Like, Bo's just like independent like that. And so they're all together. And then Woody's basically like, hey, I got to save Forky, right? I got to save Forky from the antique shop. And And they're all like, okay, we'll help you. Cause he's like, after that, we can go to Bonnie and then like, Ducky and Bunny, you'll have a home and like everyone will be like, okay. Right. We can all go home together. And so they're like, okay, like we'll rescue this toy and then we get to have a kid. Yeah. Um, Ducky and Bunny, when they're trying to figure out how to get the key from the old lady who owns the antique store, and their first two proposals are we ambush her and jump her in the face and beat her up to get the key. And then Buzz is like, "No, those plans aren't going to work." And they're like, "All right, cool." What was the plan for the last one? I wrote it
So
down.
okay, what about this? And it basically they go in this long story about the woman walking out, working at the shop, and then she goes home, and then she's like basically living her life. She's like, "Where is this going?" He's like, "Just wait, And she's in bed at night, and she's sleeping, and she opens her eyes, and the toys are standing over her, and you just hear her screaming.
And they call it the plush rush. That's what they call it. They call the move the plush rush. And mind you, at this point, they've already they're insane because they heckle Buzz like they're at the Apollo and shit. One line that they said to Buzz was "to infinity and my foot," because they're trying to kick him in the face and shit. But yeah, like that was insane. They're like basically like, yeah, we're gonna kill this old lady, get the key. And then the old lady just ends up placing it right by them on the shelf, and they're like, and then they told the other toys like, it was so hard getting this key.
So the funny thing is, actually not a funny thing. Key and Peele, they are like the best like comedy duo we've seen probably in the last like fucking like 20, 30 years.
Yeah, they're really funny. Yeah.
Like, I mean, because like a Key and Peele is like, is one of those shows like things pop up online. I'm just like, I've seen a lot of Key and Peele, but I never saw the sketch. I feel like I say that weekly every time something pops up, and it's always fucking absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, their stuff is aged really well, actually. Yeah. Like there's stuff that you can pull like that like is happening right now, like pop culture or like, hip hop culture and stuff. And they have a sketch that kind of like talks about it. It's like really funny. Also I love that so they had the plush rush, and then the cat at the antique shop, when the cat rips up that one plush doll and you see the stuffing. One of them, I forgot if it was Key or Peele, they were like, is that what we look like on the inside? Like, folks, it's so unhinged. And this is before we get to Keanu Reeves as Duke Kaboom from Canada. Like, this movie is so wild. And that's why I was like, oh, they were just having fun with this one. Like, yes, there's some sentimental moments with Bo Peep and Woody, and we have the emotional goodbye where Woody decides to stay with Bo Peep because that's his woman. You know what I mean? We always got that hint of that from Toy Story 1. And they never full out say like, hey, Woody's in love with Bo. Like they're in love with each other and stuff, and they're meant to be together because they're toys. So that'd be weird to go that route, I guess, to be explicit like that. But this is just a really goofy, funny movie. Like, it's heartwarming, and also like I loved how unhinged it was, because I think that's what like why adults like it, because like oh, this is some really weird shit, even though I did say that Forky is very useless at times. Like he doesn't he's constantly a damsel in distress.
And so I know that like I've so it's funny. I know I mentioned it on the podcast before, but like I had never seen this movie before. So I didn't know anything about the character of Forky. But I watched the Toy Story shorts on Disney Plus, and Forky is prominent in those. So I was introduced to Forky without the context of this film, like maybe like a year and a half, 2 years ago. Weird. And just watching it with the kids. And I gotta say, like, Forky jumps off the screen to you though. Like, yeah, Forky is ridiculous. But like watching those Disney sports, I was like, what is this thing? This thing is fucking hilarious though. Like it's a great character. It's a great fucking character.
Yeah. It really is. And then of course the end, when we get the plastic knife companion, like I'm like, oh, this shit's gonna be really weird in the next one.
Yeah.
With Toy Story 5, which for me, I'm kind of like, we'll talk about what Toy Story 5 might be like. But so Duke Kaboom, they have to use him because he's a stunt bike toy. and they need to rescue Forky. So they have this elaborate scheme, like scheme to get him to get Forky from because Gabby has like this dollhouse thing. So they got
Mhm.
to rescue him from that. Mind you, the fucking dummy, the ventriloquist dummy, keeps grabbing Forky. It's such a weird sequence. But then Woody agrees to give Gabby his voice box.
Yeah.
He agrees to do it. And then Gabby does try to go to the little girl, Harmony, the antique shop's owner, granddaughter. And Harmony like looks at the doll after Gabby pulls her string, it has a little cute quote or whatever. Harmony looks at her and like is holding her in her hand. And the grandma's like, "Oh, like, sweetie, you want to take that doll with you?" And she's like, "Nah."
And just
And
throws
just
it.
tosses Gabby in a box.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, that's heartbreaking. That's like,
Yeah.
that was sad.
And she's been pining for this child for years.
For years, dude. Yeah, that was sad.
Damn.
But then,
It's like middle school dances all over again.
I mean, I was never thrown in a box. I'm
You
still
might as
sad.
well have been.
Yeah, my heart was thrown in a box. Yeah, that was sad. Yeah, and then so they have to somehow get they have to also get the toys in the RV to get to the antique shop. And Bonnie and her family happened to go into the antique shop, and she had left her backpack. So they're like, "Oh, so the plan is we get Bonnie to realize that she left her backpack. We'll go back to the antique shop." and, and the parents are like to Bonnie, like, "Hey, did you forget anything?" And they're like, "All right." She's gonna see she forgot her backpack. We're off to the antique shop. And then Bonnie's like, "Nope, I got everything." And they're like, "Oh shit." And so they're driving away. And Buzz is like, "Oh, you forgot your backpack." Like that's what
Like,
the
oh, my
toy started.
backpack's inside.
Yeah, the toys start interacting with the real world a little bit more. Like they're exposing themselves more, right? And
Yeah.
so,
Well, high
because they're
pressure
just like,
situation, you gotta do what you gotta do, baby.
yeah, because it's so funny. They're like so confident. Bonnie's gonna be like, "Yeah, she's gonna realize she forgot her backpack." She's like, "I'm good." And they're like, "Oh shit, fucking kids." Yeah. Oh, I laughed really hard too when they're trying to escape to the carnival, and then Woody's trying to explain trying to tell Forky the plan. He's like, "We gotta go to the merry-go-round thing," and then Forky's like, "Carousel," and then Woody's like, "You know what a carousel is?" Like, what the fuck? He's like, he's just so incredulous. Like, you know what that word is?
I also found it hilarious when oh my god, what's Woody's counterpart? Jesse. When Jesse fucking basically flattens the tire and the dad starts losing his shit. That was great.
Again, Bonnie's dad goes through it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm surprised they let him go away. Like, because he's just like going through traffic, just fitting and starting because they're trying to get him to the carnival.
Yeah.
And he can't control the RV. He's like, "I don't know, it's a rental."
Well, the fact that that also fucking what you call it? What's her name? Well, I mean, they were fucking with the GPS and being the voice of the GPS.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
yo,
yeah.
the shit that they were doing was fucking nuts. And the fact that he was just like, okay, of course I'm just gonna follow this GPS. Just navigate. Oh, this movie was fucking crazy. It was so fucking crazy.
It really was. And like I did appreciate that they took Gabby with them, and Gabby ends up finding like another girl, like another kid, a little black kid too, by the way, who's like lost in the
I-
carnival.
I think there's Indian kid.
Oh, really? Oh, I mean,
Yeah.
they were brown. So
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's
Yeah,
something
brown.
different. And so Gabby ends up like finding a home at the end. I was like, oh, like, cause you think that Gabby's going to be a full on villain. And then she actually like, you understand why cause it sounds like she runs like the antique shop kind of like she's the boss, right?
Yeah.
But not necessarily that it's oppressive. It's just like she's the boss. But then when she discovers Woody, she's like, I actually need something from this guy.
Yeah.
And so that takes a different tone. Because Bo Peep is like, oh, we know about the antique shop. Like that's not the best place or whatever.
Yeah.
But I did like that she had like a little redemption. Like she was able to have a decent ending. And
Well, I think it's also like it just shows about who Woody is as a character, right?
Mhm.
because he sees her. He's just like, all right, I know what it feels like to be discarded and be unwanted. It's like, hey, but there's other kids out there and things like that. And mind you, Woody is going through his own existential crisis because he was Andy's favorite toy, and then now he's a nobody, for his new kid. So, but he's still working in the background and trying to make himself feel useful, and that's basically the whole story about Forky.
Yeah.
Because like Forky is the favorite toy now. He's just like, well, I'm gonna be the person who just makes sure that Forky is always there for her. He's like, that's how I can help. I'm a role, I'm not the star anymore, and now I'm the role player. So like, I just think that Woody's whole story arc, throughout the 4 movies at this point is just very interesting. But it's cool because he's the top guy. Buzz comes in and like shakes him up, but he's like, all right, I'm still the top guy. But then as Andy starts to grow up, then it's just like, all right, we're all in peril at this point, but I'm still heralded as the top guy, but I need to take care of everybody else.
Mhm.
And then now we're here, and now I'm at the bottom of the totem pole. It's just like, because now he's like, who am I? Why am I here?
PewDiePie,
Why do I
motherfucker.
matter? Yeah.
Sorry, PewDiePie came up on my radar this morning, so that's why I was top of
Okay.
mind. Yeah, he's part of like a big concert.
He coming with his
shows.
dick in his hand? Did he make you have to put his foot in your ass? Be cool, Papa.
That's mystical, though.
I know.
What? Did you not know? Did you thought that was PewDiePie for a second?
Nigga, they kind of the same dude anyhow.
They do both yell a lot. They yell
do.
a lot.
They have similar voices and they're yelling. They hollering at people. They're not even yelling.
Yeah.
They're hollering.
And they do talk about their dicks a lot. Yeah.
I
remember Peter Pablo. Yeah, and Peter Pablo had a line about stroking on his love meat in jail. Yeah, it's a weird. They both had some weird albums.
Oh, okay, so Petey Pablo was the one that abducted some woman and ended up getting locked up for quite some time.
Did he? Because I know Mystical had the sexual assault, but I don't know. Petey Pablo, did he go to jail? I mean, he did go to jail. Like he has albums about it, but did he go to jail like recently?
It's one of them did. It is one of them. It was for like abduction or holding someone. God, here we go.
I know he tried to take so he got arrested in 2010. Petey Pablo got arrested in 2010 for trying to carry a stolen 9mm semi-automatic pistol aboard a U.S. Airways flight bound for L.A. And then in 2011, he was sentenced to 35 months in prison. Okay. He was released early in 2014 and then released a mixtape called Carolina No. 1.
Of course. Well,
So,
of course.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that it was Mystical who probably went to jail for abduction and stuff. Like he already had a rap sheet, so I think he was probably like, let's just keep going, baby.
Here we go.
To be fair, he did have a song called Danger. So he was telling you what he was about.
Get on the flow. It was a domestic dispute with with his partner. And then he's also had Mystical has some dark shit. Yeah. Okay. Either way.
Yeah, Toy Story
let's just
4.
move on.
Toy Story 4. Yeah, and so we end with Woody saying goodbye to all the toys because he's gonna stay with Bo Peep and help lost toys basically find families and stuff and homes. And so there's like a very emotional goodbye between Woody and the other toys. And all while like the RV is stalled and Bonnie's dad's getting a ticket and trying to talk himself out of being arrested. Because probably at least the mom is there to be like, he hasn't been drinking, he's not under the influence, the RV's going crazy. You know what I mean? Like, because I think if the mom hadn't been there, if Bonnie's dad had been a single man or on this road trip just by himself with her, Bonnie would be in Child Protective Services right now.
Oh,
she would
for
not.
sure.
She would not be going home.
Yo, at the very least, if I was Bonnie's parents, I would think that fucking RV is haunted.
Yeah, that's immediately calling the rental company and being like, hey, what the fuck did y'all give me? I feel like I'm in a Goosebumps novel. And so the toys go back home with Bonnie, and then it's Woody, Bo's lambs, and then Ducky and Bunny. They're like part of the crew and stuff. So I wonder if they're going to come back in five. I wonder if the Key and Peele characters are coming back in five. I hope they do.
Yeah.
But there's so many toys now. Between like the Bonnie toys, our collection of toys that we know and love from the first three movies, and now a new group with Ducky and Bunny and stuff. It's just a lot.
So that's the thing. All right. And like you said,
And Forky.
how and like when I was watching this, it was like, how does Woody get back? Like how does this?
Well, to be fair, Woody's good at finding, like, he's good at getting back home. We know that from
Yeah.
the first one, right? So
Yeah.
I mean, it might take them a while. So from what I gathered from the trailer for Toy Story 5 is Bonnie gets attached to an iPad. That's
Yeah.
voiced by I had a huge crush on her. She's a beautiful Asian actress. She was in past lives. I'm blanking on her name for some reason. Um,
Greta Lee.
Greta Lee, yeah. And so I guess because Bonnie's the new leader now. Bonnie's taking over the mantle of like being the leader of the toys because she's Bonnie's second favorite toy after Forky, right?
Oh, real
Um,
quick, just so
yeah.
you know, Combat Carl will be played by Ernie Hudson.
In 5,
Yeah, taking over the role for from Carl Weathers,
interesting. Okay,
and
got it.
Duke Kaboom is back.
Of course he is. Of course, Duke. Keanu Reeves was great in that. Kaboom! It's very earnest. I love it. Unfortunately, I don't see Key and Peele on the cast list for Toy Story 5, which is a bit disappointing.
Yeah.
But so yeah, so here's the plot. Here's the log line that's on the Toy Story 5 webpage. After Woody left Bonnie to help abandoned toys find owners, Jessie becomes the leader of Bonnie's room, with Buzz Lightyear as her second in command. However, now 8-year-old Bonnie has become enamored of her new favorite plaything, a frog-like tablet named Lilypad. And I believe in the trailer, Jessie, she's kind of despondent, so she reaches out to Woody, who then comes, I guess, to try to help figure out how they can coexist with this iPad and not stunt, Bonnie's creativity and love for toys and stuff. And so it's an interesting premise. I have a feeling there's like even more to it than that.
Oh, for sure.
Because these movies always feel like, because I remember reading the log line for Toy Story 4 when it was first announced, and I'm just kind of like, that's the story? Like, y'all gonna like potentially tarnish a great trilogy for this? And then it ends up being way deeper than that, right? So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with Toy Story 5, and how they do talk about the evolution of like what things entertain children. Because it is a lot of like, because of phones and iPads and stuff like that, technology is definitely taken away from practical engagement that kids have, like with
Yeah.
toys and stuff like that. Like, do you find your sons, are they more attracted to technology and screens, or are they still like to play with toys and have fun outdoors and stuff like that?
I mean, it's up in the air. I mean, because I think the number one toy in the house is a Switch 2, but they don't have
Got it.
unfettered access to that. I just don't allow them to play it all the time.
Mhm.
So like, yeah, they are forced with toys. If they go outside, they're gonna have fun outside, and they'd love to be outside all day. But when it really comes down to it, it's like if they can get an iPad and sit and play all day, and you let them, they would try to do it. So like, it's a weird place. I think Axel's at that age where he's still into toys and everything. Jackson is also, because Jackson is advanced. Jackson is like ahead of his curve, so he's already in. But because you have a brother who's like that, I
Yeah.
think that's what's going to pull Axel into that a little sooner than he typically would go.
Got it. Okay.
But then also, I live in a neighborhood where a lot of kids just have access to tons of things that we never would have access to, kids and things way too early.
Mhm.
So due to that, everybody's they're being pushed by societal efforts as well.
Got it. Got it. I mean, regardless, I am cautiously optimistic about Toy Story 5 just because it is being directed by Andrew Stanton, who did
Mhm.
Finding Nemo, Wally, and Finding Dory. So those are some great Pixar movies. So even though I haven't rewatched Wally, I've only seen it once because I thought it was so sad. Because it's basically a silent film. It's this lonely robot, and then all the humans are fucking fat pieces of shit. You know what I mean? That's basically like, yeah, it's like a fucked
Yeah.
up future. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's just but I do remember visually thinking it's like it was one of the best looking Pixar movies ever.
Yeah.
But I just remember being so profoundly sad the whole time. You know?
So excuse me. The only thing that makes me a little bit apprehensive about Toy Story 5 is the fact that Tim Allen was like, I'd love to do a Toy Story 5. Tom Hanks was just like, nah, Toy Story 4 is the last film. So is this like, is this a thing where, you know, Tim Allen kind of had to twist Tom Hanks' arm to be like, hey man, I need this because he didn't have much else going on. And like, does that mean that this is it's gonna feel like it's a not fully fleshed out story that's really gonna hit? So like that's the one thing that I worry about, because when one person's just like, nah, we're good here, and then another
Yeah.
person pushes the envelope, that's where you fall into some problems.
I don't know, man. I mean, it's been 7 years since the last one, and so
Mhm.
I feel like if they didn't have a good story, like they wouldn't have been able to get everyone back. I think Tom Hanks has enough juice where if he didn't want to come back, if he didn't think the story
Nigga,
was worth it,
hold on. We are in the realm of, we just made a sequel 30 years later and they've been horrible.
yeah,
And
I,
that's many years later. So like that's not necessarily actually, more times than not, we've been proven that what you're saying is false.
actually no. Especially when it comes to the Toy Story series, I think that they have a proven track record where I give them the benefit of the doubt at this point because they haven't missed. So with other franchises, yes, because also you got to think about the turnaround, the turnover, right? Some sequels are
Mm.
within a year or two after. This is 7 years. Obviously animation takes a long time, but to crack that story, and again, like you have a proven director from Pixar who's done some classic Pixar movies, because Finding
Mm.
Nemo and Wall-E are like classic Pixar movies. That's why, like, even for Incredibles, like they're having an Incredibles 3. I'm not really worried about it because Incredibles 2 was fucking awesome. And that took what, 10 plus years since the first one? So that's the one thing I give, with the exception of the Cars series, which I've never been a huge fan of. Pixar sequels tend to be pretty fucking solid. Um, so I'm like, again, like when it comes to the Toy Story stuff, because it's such a story franchise, it's the number one thing that put Pixar on the map. I don't think that they're going to risk fucking it up. I think if they were through production and not happy with the story, they either would take a lot of time to fix a lot of shit, which they've done in the past,
Mm.
or they would say, "Hey," like they wouldn't have like announced it. They wouldn't have talked about it. They would just would have quietly like shuttered it.
So this is the thing. And like, under most, yeah, yeah, you made a great point. But I'm also looking at what Tim Allen's been doing since. He hasn't had a movie out since basically Toy Story 4, 2019,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
He's done some TV things. Okay, whatever. But like he hasn't done much theatrically. Then, and obviously Toy Story is the big money maker, right? These studios, especially with everything being so down, or like Toy Story is a property that can get butts in seats, right? It's never missed. So I think it's just one of those things that, even like if this is the last film, it could technically be a cash grab. Like, listen, first of all, I hope it's not. I hope that it's great. I have a feeling that it will be. It will be great. But I always start to look at these things as just like, all right, we're making a fifth film. It's like, I don't ever want to see a fucking a Fast and Furious franchise happening in Toy Story, where they like, you're just like, we didn't need this movie. It was like this needs to go away.
I mean, that's a kind of I get what you're saying. That's not the best comparison, considering that Fast Five is the best one in the series, in my opinion. But
Yeah, but no,
you know what
but
I mean?
also, yeah, no, you're right. But it had to add, Fast Five had to add The Rock and everything. A
Yeah.
lot of the Fast and Furious movies before that were trash, and mostly everyone was done. you added The Rock, and all of a sudden that thing took off. And then after that, the movie slowly started getting more and more lackluster to where we're at today. You're just like, what is this?
Yeah.
So it's like I guess like I'm optimistic. I'm optimistic, but at the same time, I'm just like, please, please don't fall off the rails, because I want this to go. It's like, listen, there's a reason I didn't watch Toy Story 4. I'm just like, all right, like, where is this thing gonna go? And I watched it. This is the first time I watched this film. Again, I watched it and I was very happy with it. But now I'm just like, well, how do you have a fifth film considering that Woody, he left with Bo Peep, and the gang's all split up. So it's like, all right, how does Woody get back with the other toys? So it's like, I guess it's the thing is, it's like, oh man, I don't know which way is gonna go, and like it kind of hurts me to think that like this could be the one where I'm just like, nah, this was a mistake.
Yeah. I mean, that's the risk that Pixar's taking, Disney's taking. Hopefully, they prove the skeptics wrong. Like I said, I'm
Mhm.
cautiously optimistic for Toy Story 5. But back to Toy Story 4. Just in the beginning, Letterboxd reviews for Toy Story 4.
We know we did. All right, up first we have Frames of Nick. Frames of Nick says, my fucking eyes can't handle so much moisture. 4.5 stars.
Okay.
That's a weird way of saying it.
Yeah, that's
That's a weird way of saying it.
all right.
Okay, up next, Cartoon She, or it's Cartoon High, whatever. They say Toy Story 2, Woody deserves to be more than just a kid's toy, and is to be admired by millions, but chooses to be loved by one kid as he is loyal and caring at heart. Toy Story 4, LOL, fuck, 2 stars.
Okay.
Okay. All right. I mean, I guess what they're saying, like Toy Story 2, he had this opportunity to be something bigger, and then he chose not because he wanted loyalty to Andy. And then, however many years down the line, and he's been discarded. He's a discarded toy. There's just like, see, he could have had everything he wanted. Like, I get that, but yeah, it's different times.
Yeah.
All right, up next, Adri. Adri says, not to be me and relate everything back to Marvel, but Woody's ending was what Marvel thought they were doing with Steve's, but Woody's actually made sense, and I'll never stop crying about it. 5 stars.
Okay.
I don't necessarily think that that's kind of the same thing, but okay, pop off. Up next, we have Matt Singer. Matt Singer wrote, big fan of the franchise's continuing commitment to horrifying and emotionally devastating adults through the medium of folksy children's entertainment. Toy Story, making adults recognize the fleeting nature of mortality, and the meaninglessness of existence since 1995. 3.5 stars.
All right.
Fair. We getting old. We all gonna die. Up next, we got Sophie. Sophie says, how can Keanu Reeves still be hot in toy form? 4 stars.
All right.
Okay.
Someone likes a dirty mustache.
Going down for a mustache ride. Anyhow, up next, we have Dave Taylor. Dave says, I'm tired. Tired of Woody trying to control everything. Tired of everyone pandering to Woody. Tired of the trash joke they murdered violently with overuse. Tired of that fucking antique store they spent entirely too much time in. I really hope my kids are tired too. 2 stars. Well,
Damn.
Everybody has their feelings
Yeah.
and strong ones at that.
Mhm. Wow. Okay. That's a lot of anger in that one.
Mhm.
Okay. Was that our last one?
Yeah, that was the last one. Mind
All
you,
right.
I think that the trash joke was great.
Yeah.
The trash joke was actually
You know-
really funny.
You know who that?
Now, mind you, hold on. Let me just take a second. If his kids watch this on loop so many times, I could see him getting that way. Because, I mean, let's be honest, Forky is annoying, right?
He's crazy.
But the character's meant
is
to
Woody.
be annoying.
Woody's annoying too.
Oh, yes, that is too. So is Buzz. I mean, they're toys, right? And they're from a world that we don't, truly we get, but we don't get it. So, like, I understand that, but at the same time, calm down, bro.
Yeah. That review reminded me of you for Paddington. It was like how do you get mad at a fun kids movie like this? It's weird.
No, I had legitimate gripes with Paddington. It was a trash movie, and it still is.
Well,
You can fight me on it if you want, but I'm standing. I'm 10 toes down, nigga. 10 toes down.
Okay.
Paddington 2 is trash.
Broken clock is wrong 10 times a day. So Justin, break down our rating system, baby.
What? Guys, you know how we do this. We rate movies bags of popcorn, small, medium, large, and the XL for the exceptional. If a film doesn't deserve any hot, buttery, delicious popcorn, we throw it into a stale popcorn pile. We pile piles and piles of stale popcorn on top of
Yes,
it.
indeed.
So, Brandon, we sat down, we watched the 2019 film Toy Story 4, which I realized the reason I didn't see this is because it came in 2019 and I had just got back from Finland with a newborn. So that's why this was not on my radar at the time. But Brandon, what say you?
This gets a large. Very charming. Animation was fucking top, next level. Voice acting was great as always. Key and Peele fucking had me dying and laughing in stitches. It was a great I thought would be an epilogue to a great trilogy. And now that there's going to be a fifth one, I'm curious to see where the series continues to evolve. But I thought this was a great addition. It didn't take away too much from the great ending of Toy Story 3. And it was just a fun continuation of characters that we love. That's my thought. Justin, what's your rating?
I'm gonna give this one a large as well. I think it's a really fun movie and definitely funny. I thought that Forky was funny in his own right, so I was enjoying it up to that point. And then when fucking Key and Peele dropped, man, I think Keanu Reeves whole fucking thing, Renault, it just kept on going higher and higher and higher. I really enjoyed it. Just one thing about Toy Story 5, because we were talking about discarded toys, things like that, it would warm my heart if Woody somehow finds RC.
That actually might be a thing. That could definitely be a thing. I could see them doing that.
Yeah.
For sure. All right. Well, folks, that's our review on Toy Story 4. Hope you all enjoyed that. As always, you can follow the show at Medium P Podcast on all social media platforms, mediumpopcorn.com for your Medium Popcorn needs. Be sure to go to youtube.com/mediumpopcorn, press that subscribe button so you get alerted about all feature reviews and celebrity interviews we have on the channel. And if you want to follow me personally, you can follow me at Frodo_Blackens on Instagram and Threads, FrodoBlackens.com for all my shows and Drunk Like History events coming up, especially in June. I'm going to be in Texas, Atlanta, DC, and of course, New York. So FrodoBlackens.com for those tickets. And then, Justin, if people want to follow you personally as well as support the show financially, what can they do, my brother?
Well, guys, you can follow me at JBrownDid on all the social media platforms, but you can support this show on Patreon, patreon.com/mediumpopcorn. We have $2, $5, $10, $15 packages. Our entire backlog is on Patreon. We have bonus episodes. We have bonus shows. We have mini shows, guys. Patreon, where it's at. Again, patreon.com/mediumpopcorn.
There you go, everybody. Slap it up, put it down. Everybody get around. And remember, you got a friend in us. Okay.
You actually should have said you have a friend in B.
Yeah.
Because that could have went for Brandon or Brown.
JB.
Mm-hmm.
BJ. All right, bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.
Medium popcorn, we are two niggas spoiling movies. Yeah. Brandon Collins, that's me, and Justin Brown for your movie needs. Medium popcorn, woo! You haven't seen it, well, we're gonna spoil it. Spoil it in your face. That's your warning. So if you get pissed, it's all your fault.